and gentlemen, how are you doing? I'm doing very good. Hopefully you're having a good day, but you can tell me in the comments. Today is another story time about Brooke and my third grade teacher. Now, my third grade teacher, me and her, again, never got along. I don't know, again, what happened. I am still very confused about it, but me and her never got along. I know why I don't like her, but I don't know why she didn't like me. Maybe it was a power trip, because she was I think 23 or something. She came out of college, and then she decided, let's just bully some 8-year-olds, okay? But I don't know how old was the normal third grader in American school systems. So yeah, I just looked it up. Yep, it's around 8 years old. But I was always angry because she would be so rude to me. But back to Brooke. Brooke, again, if you didn't watch my other story time, she was like a spoiled girl that would always go to Starbucks. Get everything on the menu, blueberry, muffin, everything. And also in the other story time was that I knew her dad, because my dad went to work with a friend, but also her dad also worked there, so yeah. So I would always talk to him about Brooke, because she was always an asshole to me, quite frankly. And I would never tell Brooke's dad about the teacher, because what is he gonna do? Tell the teacher that she's grounded, go to her room. She's 24. But I'm pretty sure that was the time that I would always get a lot more quieter, because I was always quiet, but I was beginning to be really quiet between third grade and now. So I think she's the main reason why I'm very quiet and doesn't talk a lot, because preschool to second grade, if you went up to anybody in my class, they would be like, yeah, he was really outgoing and blah blah blah, even though I was pretty quiet back then, but I was very, very quiet in third grade. Even sometimes, and I'm not exaggerating, I would get home crying because of her and Brooke. So yeah, they were just complete jerks. So one day, this also has to involve Benji, who was in my last story time. If you haven't checked it out, it's the last video I made. We knew each other, so we would sometimes go to each other's houses, and we both had Xbox 360s, but not Xbox Live. So we would just go to each other's houses to make our own Minecraft worlds together and whatever. So me and him are talking or whatever, but it's not in our houses. That was just a little detail I added. It was specifically in class. And it wasn't we were taking a test or a quiz or anything like that. We were just doing busy work. You know how teachers will sometimes pass out okay, I don't want to teach because I'm a lazy bum, so I'll just pass out homework assignments or whatever for you to do, and hopefully you finish it today. Yeah, that's what she did that day. So me and Benji were talking about our Minecraft world. We were trying to make a tree house, if you've read the book The Giving Tree, I really liked that book, so I wanted to try to recreate that, The Giving Tree. And it's very stupid, yes I know, but I would want to make it bigger so we could make a tree house out of it, because the Giving Tree is all about giving until you have nothing left. Which, I mean, it sucked in plan, and I don't know how to build anything in Minecraft, so I don't know why I was talking about it. But Brooke always likes to manipulate the teacher. Well, she did, so we don't talk anymore. So Brooke went up to the teacher and made up this crazy story about something. And this day, it was after the first story, so it wasn't like before this one. She like went up and she was annoyed. But like when she went up, it was me talking about the giving tree, and Brooke smugly says, "Look, you just changed topics so you don't get in trouble." And so me and Benji look around, and so does two other people. I'll make a drawing and show it up on screen for a few seconds of what our like table looked like. So yeah. So what's on screen right now is what the layout of our classroom was like. It would just be like a whole bunch of tables and desk or whatever, sorry, and just be like that the whole classroom. So it was that way, and where Brooke was sitting, it was right behind me. So she could just hear me whatever I was talking about. So yeah, I'm already getting heated. So I get told to go to the office, and then the other people sitting around was like, why? She was like, it does not concern you, so go sit down and commentary, go to the office. At this point, I'm like getting ticked because like, what did I do? Like, at least explain to me. Like, just don't send me to the office because you believe one person. That would be like if the American justice system said guilty until proven innocent. Like, that does not make any sense, for one. And two, that's exactly what she was doing. She would only believe one side. And then anytime I tried to catch Brooke doing something way worse than me just talking, she would be like, no, she didn't, she would never do that. And the thing was that the teacher and Brooke were not related whatsoever. So since that happened, I was already pretty heated, and what happened when I went to the office just made me more heated. And I quote from the principal, "The teacher called because you were disrupting the class during a quiz." And so I asked the teacher just one simple question. So busy work is a test? The principal looked at me confused, and she's like, "No." She said a quiz, and I'm 100% sure that's what she said. And I'm like, "No, we were doing busy work. It was like homework." Like, she didn't want to teach anything, and it wasn't a test because like our tests from my school were just spelling bees basically. Like, she would like say aloud like the word, and you would have to spell it, which me being dyslexic didn't help anything, but just 'cause I added that. So I'd always get a bad grade, and that's, I think, is another reason why she hated me. Um, I tell the principal, no, that's not what happened, and I explain my version. So me and the principal goes back to our classroom, and I show her, this ain't a test, because if this was a test or a quiz, guess what? The teacher would be standing in front of that whiteboard and, talking and saying the words, like, for the test. So she's like, yeah, I guess you're right. And I tell her, see, nothing is here, it's not a test. And she's like, yeah, I get that, but maybe. And I'm like, and I look at her and I'm like, but maybe? But maybe. So you're saying that it might be a test, but she's not up on the whiteboard. So like, what is she doing? She ain't sipping coffee, she's typing away at her keyboard. So please explain to me how it may be. But I didn't say anything. So she's like, well, maybe it is a test, but it is a different one. So I go over to my desk, show her the paper, and I tell her, it's just practicing. It's homework, but it's not an actual test. She's like, okay, I understand. So you can go back to your desk, but don't do that again. And I say, do what again? And she's like, she can't speak. Like, I'm like, well, can you please like elaborate? Like, what do you mean, not do that again? And she's like, just. And she was stuttering, so I just didn't care what she said. So here's a different story that is from my 4th grade. school year, and this was about the principal. So yeah, we changed different stories now. So the fourth grade teacher, the principal, the third grade one, got the boot. She went to high school to like have a high school principal or whatever. I don't know what happened to her. But this new guy, let's give him the name of Mr. D for douchebag. He was a complete jerk. Like any and everything little and small, like big and small, I would get screamed out. And here's one of the stories that made my blood boil and my mom's blood boil. It was around winter. Well, it was winter because the snow where I'm around can get up to like, if you're like 10 years old, it would be up to like your belly button or something. So it wasn't like, oh, like a little bit of like stuff, like it wouldn't be like a little bit of snow on your shoes or whatever. It would get up to like your stomach. And it was the end of the day. I forgot my winter coat somewhere, so I was searching it everywhere. And so as the principal was like looking around for any students, he like is like, "Hey, what are you doing here?" And I'm like, "I'm looking for my winter coat." And he's like, "I don't care. You're not allowed in here." And I'm like, "Well, I'm looking for my winter coat." And he's like, "Well, too bad. You're gonna miss the bus now. Go." And I'm like, "Well, it's up to like my shoulder. Like it's up to like my knees." And he's like, "Doesn't it look like I care?" So I go home and my mom and dad are like, "What happened to your coat? Like it is up to your knees. You need a coat." And after they're done like being like, "Where is your coat?" I'm like, "Mr. D just told me to leave." Like I was looking high and low and everywhere. I couldn't find it. I looked in my locker 5 times. I was doing the trick like what people do with the fridge, just open it and close it, hoping McDonald's is there. There was nothing. I was looking in my classroom, the library, the band, like orchestra, everywhere. Even if it wasn't for my grade, like band was for fifth graders, orchestra, fifth graders, everything like that. I was just hoping that somewhere it would be. And my mom cut me off after saying band and orchestra, so she was like, "So let me get this straight. Mr. D sent you home without a coat. Like, you searched high and low. You're 100% sure that you looked everywhere." I'm like, "Yeah, I looked everywhere before I got told to leave." And she's like, "Okay, I'll have some choice words for Mr. D." And so, the next day, I am in class doing some work, and my fourth grade teacher was better than my third grade teacher, but not by much. I really appreciated my fourth grade teacher because she wasn't as big of an asshole as my third grade teacher. So I get called down and like we're going to the library because like Wednesdays would have like a specific subject that wasn't for our teacher to teach. So I got called down to the principal, and the principal is standing there like he is like pissed. And so I'm like, "Oh great, here we go." And so he's like, "So I got a call yesterday." And I'm like, "Yep, I know where this is going." And he's like, "So explain to me about what happened yesterday." And so I recap everything that was true. And I said, "Well, I was looking high and low for my winter coat, and I could not find it. So I was looking in my room, the library, everywhere, even in my locker. Could not find it. So then I was looking in the hallway, and you called me, and you told me I had to leave. So I left, went home, and my mom got mad because, like, I'm supposed to have a winter coat." And he's like, "Why would you make something up like that?" I'm like, "Make something up like that? It's winter, for one. And B, why would I make it up if I could get hypothermia, you fool?" But being in fourth grade, I didn't know what hypothermia was. And I'm like, "It was freezing outside, so why would I make it up?" And he was like, "I don't know," to get me fired. Well, no, Sherlock. you wanted me to have hypothermia, I would once you're fired. Like nowadays, I go back to those days and I just get ticked off about him. It was not a good time, just saying. So this principal basically tells me to don't make up that lie again. And I did find my winter coat, thankfully. It was, under my desk in, my teacher's classroom. But, like, I swear I looked there and it was not there. I don't know how it appeared there, but, like, I found it. So that was the last story I had. I have more, but since because I had time, I put in another one. And on that note, goodbye. I'm signing out. This was very long. This was what my recording says, about 16 minutes. So this is a new world record for the longest video I've had. But anyways, I'm signing out and goodbye.